People often say empathy is the very heart of nursing. It's that real human connection that makes care, well, caring. But now, as artificial intelligence gets deeper and deeper into healthcare, it's bringing up a huge question, one that really gets to the core of what it means to care for someone. So, can an algorithm, no matter how smart it is, truly get what a nurse feels in that profound human moment at a patient's bedside? This is a huge debate, right? It's basically computational logic versus the very fabric of human connection. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, you've got to understand that we're talking about two totally different ways of looking at empathy. On one hand, you've got the AI model. It sees empathy as a pretty straightforward task. Recognize an emotion, then generate the right response. It's a problem to solve. But then on the other hand, you have the human experience, which says, nope, it's not a transaction. It's all about presence and connection, a shared emotional space. All right, let's put on our tech hats for a second. How does an AI even think about empathy? What's its definition? Well, for an AI, the definition is super clinical, very logical. And yeah, it's technically correct. It's all about recognizing patterns, understanding them based on a ton of data, and then executing a response it's been programmed to give. There's a really clear functional path there. And that process, it's exactly as logical as you'd expect. First, the AI just listens and watches. It analyzes things like your tone of voice, your facial expressions, the words you use. Then it takes all that info and compares it to a massive database to figure out, okay, what emotion is this? And finally, it cooks up what it calculates is the most supportive thing to say. It's a simulation, right? A really, really good imitation of a human interaction. But okay, that's the server room. What happens when we step out onto the hospital floor, to the actual bedside? Let's flip the script and look at this through a nurse's eyes. Because this isn't about data points anymore. We're talking about real, lived human moments. And what's so interesting is that this perspective doesn't say the AI definition is wrong, just that it's incomplete. It's missing the most important part. Just listen to what Dr. Pio, a registered nurse with a PhD, points out. The key difference isn't just recognizing an emotion from a distance. It's about feeling with someone. It's about sharing that moment. And that right there, that's the heart of the human argument. Empathy isn't some simple input-output function. It's a relationship. Think about it. It's that quiet moment after delivering bad news, the instinct to just hold a hand, the quiet presence that says, I am here with you. And this isn't just a gut feeling nurses have. There's research that backs this up. Studies have shown that empathy in healthcare is actually a moral practice. It requires things like authenticity, presence, and trust, qualities that are just inherently human, not computational. So where does this leave us? We've got the AI's simulation of empathy on one side and the nurse's embodiment of it on the other. How in the world do these two things fit together? Well, when you lay it all out, you can see their roles are totally different, but they could actually work together. AI could be this amazing assistant, right? Helping with triage, offering support for decisions, even flagging potential emotional distress. But a nurse's role is so much deeper. They don't just process emotion, they carry it. They reflect on it, and they grow from that human connection. And that brings us to the most crucial point here. And it's pretty simple. AI simulates empathy. Nurses embody it. A simulation is valuable, for sure. It's like a sophisticated mirror. But embodiment, that's the real thing. It's integrated, it's lived, and it's deeply, deeply human. So what's the secret sauce? Why is that? Well, true embodied empathy requires a few things you just can't learn from a data set. It needs moral judgment in those really complex gray area situations. It takes emotional risk, the willingness to connect with someone else's pain. It takes self-awareness, and of course, the wisdom that only comes from lived experience. All of this really points to a powerful and pretty clear conclusion about the future roles of technology and people in healthcare. Ultimately, when you boil it all down, this is what you're left with. Technology, including AI, is going to keep being a phenomenal assistant, making things more efficient and supportive. But the actual delivery of care, that moment of connection, of healing, of shared humanity, that will always be a profoundly human act. So, as we wrap up, this leaves us with a fascinating question for the future. We've established that AI can't replace human empathy, but could it augment it? I mean, could these tools actually free up nurses to be more human, Or do they risk creating even more distance from the very connection that defines care? That's a big one, and it's exactly what we're going to dive into next.